Hello, hello. On today's show, I'm going to talk about Secret Invasion. Mike has nothing important to say, just who the champ for Cover Combat 4 is. And Pat asks the question, will you press yes or press no on the latest collectibles? Welcome to your favorite live stream, favorite live streaming, podcasting, whatnotting live stream. Yeah, I totally butchered that. Sorry about it. I am your fourth or fifth favorite podcasting host, Kevin. Yeah, that's what I wanted to end it with, podcast. And I've got two amazing gentlemen with me today, as usual. You want to say what's up, Mike?
Hey, good morning.
This is awesome for a great start. And then, of course, Pat, what's up?
Yeah, everybody. Good to see everyone again.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you may have just fallen to everybody's fifth or sixth with that fumble, but we'll see. You can recover.
You know, the problem was I was too impressed with myself with how funny I thought that Mike has nothing important to say. Lead in. That was good, right?
Yeah, it was. I was applauding by myself here.
Thanks. Yeah, just a little behind the music for people. You know, right before the show, we talk about, what we want to say and all that. And that was Mike's quote. And I didn't tell everybody I was going to say that. So, Mike and Pat got to enjoy that. I was triply impressed with myself. So anyway. All right. Yeah. The Cover Combat 4 champ today.
Yep.
This is such a bittersweet show every time for me that we get to see the champ, which is exciting, but then now we're ending Cover Combat 4, and then lastly it's going to be a super short segment, right?
It is. It's really short. Yeah. I tried to figure out a way to drag it out a little bit and make it longer, but
we got the wrap up afterwards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. The wrap up.
Sorry for so late, Patrick.
That's exciting too. Yeah, Pat's on his game today, at least.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't put the extra into it.
Yeah,
I didn't get the eliminations. I just have all the entrants. So
yeah.
Well, I'm sure whatever you've done will be way more impressive than anything I could have done. That's for sure. So we'll see. I can't wait. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. I just have to say this too. I just realized this too. That's crazy that this has happened to me at the beginning of this show, because I actually fumbled the closing of, my favorite saying on at the tail end of the Whatnot show on Thursday too, man. Thank God I was alone. It was embarrassing. And I also forgot to mention, too, that Karen is not with us today, which makes matters even more tenuous. So we'll see how things go. But special shout out to Karen. Happy birthday. She's with our mother. Hopefully she's having a great day. And we'll see her soon, though. I got my whole family coming down here soon. So anyway. All right, here we go, Mike.
Happy birthday, Karen.
Yes.
Oh, you were wanting me to. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. That was cue for Cover Combat.
No. It was a cue for happy birthday. Pat, go ahead.
Yes, happy birthday, Karen.
There you go. All right, now we're ready for cover combat.
Yeah. All right. So the final three, we have Ep27, Bill Sienkiewicz. Was surprised to see him make the final three just because of how stylized his work is. And then next up, Venom #1 from Clayton Crane, who was that wild card added. So that was exciting. And finally, Hulk 340, one of the most classic covers out there by Todd McFarlane.
This is great. I pitched it on every show, every Whatnot show too, to try to get more people voting in and stuff too, because it is so. I think Patrick, you mentioned you were a little under. Oh, was that last cover combat? You were a little underwhelmed with the finalists. Was that this one, or how you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I mean, like I said last time, I feel like it doesn't represent the cream of the crop.
Oh, right.
But you corrected me and said, no, I hate to disagree with you, but the voters have spoken. This is the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Right. Well, aside from that whole opinion, I just think it's a cool finals for sure because of what Mike pointed out already, that Sienkiewicz made it. The wild card, the oddball that didn't even get really selected by any one individual made it. And then the classic that so many of us were disappointed that got booted early from Cover Combat 1 made it. I think it's a very cool, opinion of the covers aside, it's just very cool final,
Yeah, you'd think I'd be more excited because now we can talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm just like Mike last round, last Cover Combat. I have an advantage here. I've got 2 of the 3 covers.
Yeah,
you do.
Yes.
That is that. Oh man, that is interesting. And remind me real quick. I think so. I won Cover Combat 1.
Yep.
And then Mike Collins won 2.
Yeah, with his you won 1 with Classic X-Men #1. New York Mike had round 2 with Catwoman. I think it was an Art Germ Catwoman. I can't remember what issue, 16. Yep. And then I got 3 with Uncanny X-Men, and now here we are with 4.
And I'm rooting for Pat for a couple reasons then. One, so now we have 4 cover combats with 4 Exceller Group member champ winners, if Pat wins today. And then secondly, I talked to you guys privately about who my predictions of who had who is. So I'm rooting for Pat to win because I think I know who he has as well. So,
Well, he definitely has the Clayton Crane because that's the only way he can have 2. Because the other ones
true.
Are different artists. So the big question is, does Patrick have McFarlane or Bill Sienkiewicz?
Well, I was talking about the Clayton Crane one. I didn't realize it was that obvious because that's the one I know he had.
Yeah.
Based on what you said. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me get some sound. We need sound effects for this. We're going 3, 2, 1, right?
Yeah. So what I'll do is the first one I'm going to show you is the 3rd place cover. And the 3rd place cover received 14% of the vote.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Oh!
Venom #1 comes in 3rd place.
Sienkiewicz is still in it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I was surprised that this one was 3rd. I as much as I love the Sienkiewicz, I like this one more. So this one was shocking to me.
Well, I'm still happy I like Sienkiewicz better than this one, but this one definitely grew on me as time went along. And I would say of all the Venom covers we've ever, well, I don't know, we've had a couple that I liked better than this one, but this one's really good. So
yep. All right. So what that does is that leaves us with these 2, Ep27 and Hulk 340. Okay. The winner had 64% of the vote, while 2nd place had 21% of the vote.
Hold on. So 64 and 21, that's 85. So Venom only had 15% of the vote, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I think my decimal was off there. Wait.
That's right.
Yeah. It's 15. I said 14 for Venom, but I mistyped it. Yeah.
Well, there's a point
math.
there.
That's why I married an English teacher.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. So I'll be revealing the winner. That's what we're going to see. We're not going to see the second place cover. We're going to be revealing the winner.
All right, here we go.
The winner. Sorry, that was cheap.
That's funny.
All right. Give me another drum roll.
Okay. Yes!
There it is. Surprising no one, the Incredible Hulk 340 is the winner.
Man, I sent an invite to Johnny too. I was hoping he'd have been here for this.
Yep. Well, Patrick will reveal some stuff here shortly.
Yes, it would have been even better for Johnny to be here because he was my competitor in the final three.
Yeah.
Oh, he had Sienkiewicz?
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh yeah, so it's revealed now, and which was my prediction, which didn't dawn on me until 2 weeks ago. I was like, wait a second, Pat has McFarlane. I don't know exactly. I think the week prior to that, I was sure Pat had Matina, which I made a fool of myself apparently. But then I realized. Then can I just throw out my total? Can I throw out my predictions for everyone right now before we show anything else?
Yeah. Well, we don't need this anymore, right?
Right.
You can go ahead and remove that. I'm going to get back over here. Too much stuff moving around.
Wait, you added it back. Oh.
No, I removed it and you removed it. So one of us added it back.
Put it back on. Oh, okay, gotcha.
All right.
Oh, Karen actually commented. She heard us. She says, thank you, guys.
Oh, yep.
She loves all of us. She's not only talking about the three of us. She's talking about her adoring fans out there. So, love you too, Karen. All right. So are we going to put up something else, Mike, before I throw out my predictions?
No, I'm done. I'm done with that.
Well, I was actually, so my epiphany that happened, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, was that Pat had McFarlane, Mike has Matina, which this is what and I'm not done, but I'm going to talk like I'm right. This is funny with me having the epiphany that Mike had Matina too, is because a few weeks prior to me having this epiphany, I also commented on, I sure hope Mike has Matina because he knows how much I love the guy. And as hard as I've been on Matina covers, he'll be the last person to take it personally. You remember, Pat, when you were saying, I hope Mike has New York Mike. And then we joked about how it would be even funnier if it was Johnny. But then Tyler had Jim Lee. Of course, does anyone, Pat, well, Mike does. Pat, do you know who I had?
Yeah.
Who? Or how do you know? Oh, you've seen all the covers.
I sent him everything.
Did you know before you saw the covers?
I did not. No.
Okay. So I had Buscema. I actually did predict that Johnny had Sienkiewicz, and then that puts Mike from New York at Mike Zach, right?
Good job.
Is that everybody?
Yep, that's everybody.
Sweet.
So you want to know what percentage you got right on that? Or Patrick can reveal it.
Yeah, he just said he said good job. I got everybody.
Well, I just was commenting that was a good job guessing, but I don't know.
Oh. Did I get 100%? Is it okay.
Yes, you did it. You did it. You got everybody.
Yeah. All right,
good job.
Yeah. We're going to have a discussion about Matina.
Sorry, Mike. Week after week, I was hammering Matina. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I get it. And in my defense on the ones that you submitted, Kevin, if you had Matina, which ones you would have done? I looked at a lot of those, and my problem with Matina is so many of his covers look so evil that I didn't want this overload of overly aggressive, vicious, evil-looking covers. So that's where, the Spider-Man 2099, I don't love that cover, but it was the cool-looking cover that wasn't
evil. Got it. Dark.
Evil, right.
Yeah.
Dark. I think dark's a better thing. But Matina, his covers are dark. So and the Batman Superman, I actually do really love that cover. So I was trying to get away from that theme with his books. So
the only thing, the thing I'll say about that is good is that you are a Matina fan. So yes. I'm glad that you got him versus somebody else,
Yeah. It's even funnier too, Pat. I'm sending private, before I knew it was Mike had, before it dawned on me that Mike had Matina, I'm sending private, just text messages to Mike bashing. I'm like, Mike, look at these. These are so much better. I know the idiot that put in these other Matina comics. I'm like privately bashing Mike to his face.
Exactly. Yeah.
You did a great job keeping that on lockdown for as long as I don't know exactly why it finally dawned on me that I can't remember the moment, of course, but I started to recall all the shows, and I'm like, Pat's been defending McFarlane this whole time, and Mike's been the biggest defender of Matina, so I was finally like, daggone it, I was an idiot the whole time. So anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I'm gonna incorporate that in Cover Combat 5. Some kind of prize for predictions of who's who. So
who has who?
We'll have to play a cat and mouse game even better, I'm glad I obviously played Buscema off pretty well since Pat didn't figure I had him, I was really sad about, I thought I had a couple big hitters that were definitely going to make it to the finals, Yeah.
I think he was one of the more difficult artists to choose from just because of the era that he was from. His most, prolific work was, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
But
so anyway, okay, let's see what we got as far as showing everyone. So what you said the only thing you have, Pat, is just showing everybody submissions, and just we can talk about that, right?
Well, and where they landed round wise. I just didn't get the eliminations done because it was getting too late. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't send them to him until, was it 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. It was
last night.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Well,
it was to the point where I was thinking, boy, I hope Mike's okay. Because it was not through text; it was through Facebook Messenger. And I almost sent to the group text, is Mike around? Is he? Maybe I thought maybe he was out of town, or
I
really busy with work.
I always wonder how that's working with you two because I don't have anything to do with that. So I'm like wondering when you guys do that and stuff. So I always figure I'm the tardy one usually. So you two are on the ball, like you have all that set up, and especially with a 2-week gap, you guys were prepared for that, but.
Well, I don't look at any of the votes until Friday night.
Oh, right,
so
right.
What happens was when you guys send me even the pick 3 stuff, when you guys send that to me, like Patrick sent me the thing, I saw he sent me a message and I knew what it was. It was your selections. I didn't even open it because then later on when I sit down to do it, then I know. And then as soon as I do it, so when I like it back to you guys, that's me saying, okay, I've now seen it. So I'm looking at yours going, okay, yep. And then I read the last part. And I was like, oh no, he needed this like 10 hours ago when he sent me.
Yeah, well, it didn't help. I should have got our votes in much sooner than I could have got on the ball. But since we were on vacation,
I get it. I mean, it was early in the day and stuff, but I don't look at them until I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
Well, I totally, again, with me not being involved with what you two are talking about, it didn't dawn on me until just now when you're saying it. when you make the cutoff, even for pick 3 at 9:30, Mike, then that is essentially saying Pat can't even start doing his part of it.
Well, no, because I feel as long as I get my family's votes in, then Mike can send me the information.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
But it was just all in the same text, so I just saw votes coming in. I didn't know there was additional stuff at the bottom.
A reminder about the gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could have voted, 2 weeks ago and had 2 weeks to work on this, but I didn't get around to voting. So.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think of any of that until just now. That's cool. Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Just like when you do the Whatnot show, there's stuff that we don't even see that happens. That behind the scenes stuff there's a lot that goes into everything. Even our show, what we're doing right now, there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
So Kevin, I don't know if you can do the thing where you put us at the bottom, if you'll still be able to see the graphic or not.
Let's see. Oh, not that one.
Oh, that's crazy.
There it is.
There we go.
Okay. No,
doesn't work.
No, well, it was worth a try.
All right, we'll start at the bottom and work up, I guess. With the first person eliminated was Tyler. He had Jim Lee. He had a really rough round 2. Almost everything got picked off in round 2.
Yeah.
That's sorry, Mike. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think Jim Lee probably in somebody like me, you, or Patrick or Johnny, somebody that's been into comics longer, that has more exposure to Jim Lee, we would have picked 7 different covers than what he picked. Well, I would have picked. Yeah, I can think of 3 offhand, but this, I'm so happy. I found out he had Jim Lee because he couldn't resist my attack of his Modern Warfare cover. Yeah.
So
that's funny.
He let the cat out of the bag, but man, I'm so happy that he picked some great X-Men covers, though. That's my boy.
Yeah, they're all good. I think that would have been interesting if we just now switched everything up and use the same artist, but that would get boring. But to see what we would have put up there.
I guess you just need to, if we're gonna have the same artist, we need to have somebody with a humongous library, And for anybody watching right now, we don't think that Venom in the top left is Jim Lee. That's his Clayton Crane pick.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it was funny. I think in a couple instances, the Clayton Crane wild card outlasted the main pick of the participant. So
I think it did with me. I think it did with me too. Yeah, or maybe my last one went the same week my Clayton went. But anyway, that's cool. Those are some good picks, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's Jim Lee, for crying out loud. He does.
Right. Yeah.
The man's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's do Kevin next. One of some picks. When I look, it's funny when I'm putting these together and I'm looking at the picks and I'm like, oh man, I cannot believe some of these didn't last longer than they did.
Right? That's exactly what I was thinking.
We'll get to that when we get to Mike Zach. I'm like, are you kidding me? How did these all fall so early?
Yeah, and so was I right? Did that Clayton Crane, my Spider-Man Clayton Crane, did that go at the same time as my last pick? Do you know that?
No, your Crane made it to round 3. Your Wolverine was round 2.
Okay, yeah. Man, I'm the least, I guess, as far as having a memory of who all these covers are and everything, or even realizing who they were. Wolverine being Buscema. That was, I think Mike said as soon as I got Buscema, he was like, I think, people are going to like who they got when they realize, I felt like that was directed at me. You might even have said me. And you were right. When I looked at that Wolverine, I was like, what? That's Buscema? That's awesome. Because I love that cover.
Yeah, I remember saying that because Yeah, I know, you're not into the who does all this stuff a lot, but yeah, I knew once you started looking at his covers, you were like, oh yeah, I love all these.
Yeah. It definitely was. Can you think of one big one that I may have missed? Because the only one I was kind of searching for was the Defenders. Like when that's how, I got all the other ones pretty quick, as soon as I saw them and realized, as we see them, I was like, oh yeah, blank, blank, blank. But then the Defenders, that was kind of torn between 2 or 3 other covers. Was there any big Buscema hitter that I missed, especially you guys can think of right off the bat? No?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Defenders cover was kind of probably on the weaker end. There he had some really great Avengers covers, not only in the 70s but also in the 80s that I would have loved to have seen there. But yeah,
I think the Defenders one was the weakest one. All the other ones, I love them. Big fan of all.
All right.
All right, next, New York Mike Zach.
Man, that is a great lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that Cap and that Secret Wars cover and even that Punisher neck, forget about the neck.
Yeah.
I don't know how those were all round 1 eliminations. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's like that Clayton Crane too. That's a little bit of a, I guess, I think Mike expressed how he didn't care for Clayton Crane being the extra anyway. So, but that's a surprise. I'm surprised that was his Clayton Crane though. That's a good one, but
yeah, I would have done. I like that Amazing Spider-Man, but I would have done the next issue. I think it looks so much better with Craven and then Spider-Man in the background up on the ceiling. I've always loved that cover. So
yeah,
I think it would have done better than this one.
You think?
All of those Last Hunt covers. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but that was rough first round for Mike. He was potentially just all his covers were gone in the first round, except for that ASM cover, which unfortunate.
Yeah, I love the Deathlock Captain America. Jeez.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, again, all that Deathlock arc on Captain America, this covers, I love them. They're so good.
Yeah, and just a shout out to Mike for me too. Mike's picks, because I love, I mentioned when we showed it and it got eliminated, the G.I. Joe with the Destro on it. I love that cover so much that I've been teetering lately on, wanting to refill all my G.I. Joe, classic G.I. Joe gaps, and even start getting new G.I. Joe. And when I saw these covers from Mike, I totally was like, okay, yeah, I'm in. I'm totally going down a rabbit hole of getting old G.I. Joe books now because of this. So that's a positive shout out. That's not a negative. That's a positive.
Oh yeah, it just reinvigorated your love for the
exactly.
All right, you guys up for some Jello?
Yeah. Man, those are great covers. Look at those.
It's Mike with Francisco Mattina.
I don't even know what to say now. Do you, Pat?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, I get it. So did you see that Deathstroke cover? I pulled that book out of my collection and set it up on the shelf down in Exceller. Did you see that yet?
Crap! I keep forgetting. Well, I haven't been in. Is it in Alpha?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been in Alpha for a bit, so yeah, I'll check it out next time I'm in there. But which I need to refresh the Whatnot show. But man, she's like, yeah, like I said, I'm at a loss for words just because I feel so bad right now. I'm like, You're okay, right, Mike? You're not emotionally scarred by me and Pat, are you?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, gotcha.
And it was you had a consistent cover combat here, Mike. Yeah, I mean, none of yours got eliminated in big chunks. You
Right.
slow but steady. That unfortunate that next to last round that when all you had that 3 Matinas going in and they all got dropped off. That was rough, but
yeah, I thought I was like, okay, I've got 3. At least one can make it to the finals.
Yeah,
and then everything got wiped out, and I was like, well, that was quick. Well, like New York Mike in round 1. It's like, well, I'm done.
I will say my favorite is that Spawn cover out of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. Yeah,
I do like that one,
and I like that. Speaking of that, just a shameless plug here for the Whatnot Show again. I had that Spawn book, actually the Virgin, for sale on the Whatnot Show on Thursday. Didn't go. So anyway, and that Clayton Crane Venom though too. I love that. That's a great cover for many reasons. Very cool.
That's Matina.
Wait. Oh, Clayton Crane is
the Bounty Hunters.
Bounty Hunters? Oh, that's Matina. Man, that's so soft. That's what you see how it kind of I thought it was,
And that's why I liked it so much. It was so different from his other ones.
Yeah.
And the Clayton Crane, I was like, man, this is a shoe-in with Bounty Hunters. This is shoe-in.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Come on.
Surely, at least Kevin will vote for this.
Right.
Well, it went up against, I think, like I mentioned, my top 5, and I had like my top 5s go up against each other. I had, you know what I just recalled too? I voted out my last Buscema, Buscema cover against 340, Pat. You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks.
You know how we talked about that so many times. Have you ever voted against?
Yeah.
I voted out my last cover left against 340 because I couldn't vote against 340. So anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, Mike, sorry. It's actually seeing them all together. My opinion has totally changed. These are great.
Yeah, I mean it's all good. I get it. I just have better taste than everybody. That's all right. Yeah.
It's so funny. I want to go back and rewatch this whole round now because I remember a lot of your comments. One of your comments was like, "You're gonna have a tough time at the next Exceller group get together." I heard you said about my covers.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
We should do a clip show where you just take a bunch of clips of you guys bashing on Matina covers.
All right, challenge accepted.
I will give you credit, Mike. You hit that one when I started, harping on the shattered glass. You were like, yeah, like none of those even match up. I was like, he doesn't have Matina, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I had to jump on and get a few digs in myself to throw you guys off.
All I can think about looking at this too is I was obviously all over Jello Deathstroke. I was all over Ugly Flash. I was all over that Superman Batman being the worst Matina cover ever. Man, jeez, oh man, Mike.
Wow. Mike's like, it shows speed. Look how fast,
Yeah. Because that's when I was looking for those and I saw them, like, holy cow, look how fast they look. That's great. So I picked it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Next up is Johnny with Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah. I think he had one of the hard ones too, just how stylized Bill's stuff is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he lost the majority of his in round 1.
But that Lost Universe was kicking so much butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally I'm so happy.
Oh wait, it went out in round 2?
Which one? Lost Universe is round 2. Yeah, it seems like it lasted longer, but yeah.
Wow.
Round 2.
I didn't realize he had 3 Electras.
Yeah.
Man, I should have put it together that he had Sienkiewicz longer or a while ago because of that Transformers cover too. Obviously, he's a big Transformers guy, and I didn't realize we both had Defender covers too.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that Transformers was his Crane cover.
Oh yeah.
But that was still a giveaway if you think about it, because
Right.
Transformers.
Yeah.
That Defenders book is the only issue of the Defenders that I own.
Really?
Yeah, it's so funny. And I bought it back. I got that probably in, 88, 89, way back when I first started collecting.
Well, the only one I don't like of these still is the What If. I just don't like that cover.
Yeah, I like that
man.
one.
I love that cover.
And I didn't realize too until now we're talking about it too that, we talked about how, and I mentioned this every cover combat because I love for the championship to be spread around. It wouldn't have mattered who won in this final round. It would have been a new champ, a Exceller Group member champ. That's awesome.
That was like the thing that put me at ease of being eliminated in one round there. That I was like, okay, well, at least it's somebody that hasn't won is in the finals. So yeah, it was that thought process. I'm like, okay, I can deal with not.
Yeah. All right.
All right. And then me, Todd McFarlane. Which, man, I'll tell you what, I think I told Mike I have some comments from McFarlane at the end because this was tough. I mean, he has not really done much since the 80s. I mean, there's the Spawn cover here and there, but a lot of his Spawn covers were just inking over Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
And so it was tough. I had a much tougher time than I thought I would.
Yeah, that's true. It would be
well,
outside of his Marvel stuff, he's done Spawn.
Well, where the heck is Spider-Man #1? The heck? Where the heck is ASM 300? The heck?
I just thought those were too
iconic.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Seen them too many times. I tried to get different Spider-Men up there. That's why I had to go for that Marvel Age, even though it had its detractors. At least it wasn't the same Spider-Man cover we've seen so much. But that's the other side of the shoe. It's like the McFarlane covers, that you think are iconic. It's just like, are they slightly too overplayed? I don't know. It was tough.
Yeah, I actually like 298 and 299 more than 300 as far as the cover goes. I really love those with Chance on there and stuff. I think it looks great.
Well, that's an insane thing to say. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But no, I know you've expressed how, you think you see something too much and stuff. But yeah, I if this was me, I definitely would have had, like I said, at least those two, Spider-Man 1 and ASM 300 on there. And I may have had, I may have had 298, 299. Yeah, that whole, and then
you'd have been like, it's Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then, well, I'm saying I obviously wouldn't have chosen them all, but I'm just saying, as a one of those, which obviously he does technically have one of these here. But then also like the McFarlane Reborn cover. Oh man, I love that cover so much. And is it it's Reborn, right? Yeah. He did.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah, that's right. He did one of those. I always forget which one he did.
And then he recently did a crossover cover, which I love so much too. So, I mean, yeah, it's funny, Pat, I'm so happy that you had this because obviously you submitted 340 at least. My favorite cover of all time, and now it's the champ. But we talked about when these artists were given to us. Imagine you get an artist you don't like, and I think Pat, not that you dislike McFarlane, but you're not a McFarlane fan, right? In general, right?
I am. I'm not as big a fan as I used to be. It was just tougher than I thought it would be. Not a lot of modern choices from Todd.
Gotcha.
That I could find at least. I was surprised. I really like that Spawn cover. I like both Spawn covers. I thought the Haunt one was at least different, but I know a lot of people didn't like the half and half. But I love the one with the silhouette on the back of the cityscape. So I was surprised I can get a little bit more support behind it.
Which That one, ironically enough, is the one that's the toughest to distinguish that's McFarlane on the cover. Don't you think?
A little bit. The cape's a giveaway, I think, but
Yeah. I mean, but it's not very much lines. It's very many lines. It's clean, it's smooth, that kind of, which is, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think the Spawn Batman, I've never been a fan of that cover since it came out. I know a lot of people love it, but I don't know what it is about it.
Oh, it breaks my heart.
I know, I'm sorry. But I love all the other ones.
You're getting me back from a teen. It's fine.
I'm getting both of you back.
Yeah, you're getting both me and Pat back at the same time.
Nice cover.
But I was surprised, pleasantly surprised that my Dark Horse Clayton Crane Venom cover kept chugging along too. That was nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you sent those to me, I was like, are you kidding me? That is the coolest cover. I'm gonna vote for that every time.
Yeah, and I feel like me and Mike were talking that one up more than anybody, even you, Pat. You were probably trying to stay low key on it.
Yeah, I voted against that cover at least once. I know.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the last round.
Anyway.
Well, that one too. Last round. So I voted for it at least against it twice then.
Gotcha.
Last round and another round back for sure. So
well, you guys talked me into voting against my Spider-Man 2099 cover. Yeah, that's funny.
All right.
Those are great. That was fun.
Yeah, like I said, bittersweet. Oh. I'm going to get this right. Third time's a charm. There we go. That was great. In so many levels. Just who won, what cover won, who won, discovering all that. It's so great. We're starting Cover Combat 5 today, right? No, I'm just kidding. So, to cover that for real though, next week we're going to spin the wheel to decide the theme for Cover Combat 5.
Yep.
And then in 2 weeks, or do you want to wait 3 to give us 2 weeks to submit once we understand what the theme is? I know we talked a little about it a little bit in pregame, but we didn't talk about that. This last one? I think we only gave you a week. Were you fine with that, Mike?
It was a lot to do.
Do you prefer to?
Yeah. Because I've got to gather all the covers because I try to get HD, really great copies of them. Then I've got to do all the matchups. Yeah, there's a lot involved in getting it organized.
Okay, so next week then we'll reveal what the theme is for Cover Combat 5, but then 2 weeks later we will do round 1 of Cover Combat 5. How's that sound?
Round 1.1.
And I think we've got some holidays and stuff coming into play here too, so that might actually work out perfectly where it's going to be a week we skip anyway or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Because then I got a deployed boy coming home too, and all my family's going to be down here, all that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep everyone posted. But as of right now, the reveal of Cover Combat 5's theme will be next Saturday.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that'll do it then.
I have to say the thing I look forward to the most is Patrick's logo.
Oh, boy,
Yeah.
don't put pressure on me
I know. I'm sorry.
because I have no ideas yet. So.
Oh, I was just getting ready to ask that question. You got something yet, Pat? No.
That's when the best stuff comes out, when you're up against the clock and you're like, man, I've just got to do this. And then boom, you're done and you think, holy cow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, if you get out of heavy pressure, right?
Yeah.
Diamonds, right?
Right.
Yeah, diamonds, nice.
All right, speaking of diamonds, I got some diamonds to talk about on what I watched. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I was just joking though. I actually have a bunch of coal. Is what I. No, I'm just kidding. It's a mix. It's a mixed bag this week. All right, so we will start from the bottom, move our way up here. I watched a movie called The Divide. I can't exactly explain how I discovered this gem, but the poster's cool. Isn't that poster kind of cool?
Yeah, that would pull me in.
Yeah, exactly. And this, incidentally, this is from 2011, and I watched this on Stars. And I guess I should say, I know how I got pulled in because Stars knows me and knows I like pieces of crap from the early 2010s. No, I'm just kidding. But incidentally, so this is the kicker. So you know how the advice goes. I mean, or not the advice, the recommendations and all these streaming services, they throw up typical stuff that you've watched, of course. And then I just got to sift through for other multiple reasons. But this poster was cool. But then this is a big seller for me. Michael Biehn is in this, which he's one of my favorite from back in the day. You know, Terminator, The Abyss, Michael Biehn, Tombstone. He's been epic in so many movies. So I was like, Michael Bihn's back. And then I saw it was 2011. I was like, is he still around? I don't know. He was at least back for one movie. I didn't actually look to see if he's had much more, but I was surprised. It's 2011, Michael Biehn. And then check this out, too. Rosanna Arquette was in this. She was a big part in this. And then Milo Ventimiglia. Do you guys know who that is?
Yes.
Mike?
I might know. If I might tell me who he is.
Pat, what's he from?
He was on Heroes, and he was on that weepy NBC show.
This Is Us, yeah.
Yeah. Weepy. I know it. I never watched that, but yeah, Emily was crying every time she watched it.
Yeah, everybody was, even me.
Everybody was.
I'm just kidding.
It's like, I've got an hour to cry. Let me go ahead and watch this.
It's so funny with This Is Us. I only ever watched one episode of that, and it happened to be his death episode, and that was a heartbreaker, man. So I'm like, I'm never watching this again. Why do girls like to cry this much? I don't like this. But anyway, and then Courtney B. Vance is in this, which he's like in a ton of stuff that you know him from a lot of stuff, but I can't name one of them right now. So anyway, this is a pretty star-studded cast,
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the poster's cool, and then I read the synopsis, which essentially this is great in my opinion. Nuclear holocaust, okay, and a bunch of people in an apartment building as the nuclear holocaust is happening head down to the, remember back in the day, that's all we had during the Cold War was these fallout shelters kind of pushed on us, get to the basement, go build fallout shelters, all this stuff, right? So this apartment building has this fallout shelter at the bottom of the apartment building, and a bunch of people from the apartment have to go down there. And essentially this movie is just how they interact after the, essentially the nuclear holocaust happens. And that's exactly what it is. It's the entire, at least where they are, I don't know, who knows if the entire United States, they're in New York City. All of New York City is completely obliterated, so then after, we've all heard so many times how to work after a nuclear blast, irradiation, you can't go outside forever, so these people, I think there's 12 of them, and like there's one couple, there might be two couples, and then like two brothers, but then essentially they're all strangers to each other. So now they gotta not only live with each other, but they have to live with each other completely unprepared with limited rations. And let's see how that goes. you know,
there's always that one annoying neighbor.
right.
They made it there. It's great. You made it.
So before I give you my view on this, which obviously I've already teased my views a little bit, that sounds pretty cool though. All that together, that sounds like it might be something, right?
Yeah, I would give this one a shot.
Yeah. Okay, this is mixed, okay? This is so weirdly written so many times. Like, there's so many times I'm shaking my head. I'm like, what the heck? in this movie. But for every time that I said, what the heck, if in this movie, I was going, wow. So this is literally a mixed bag throughout.
It's like a
And
seesaw.
Yeah. Oh, Mike, perfect way to put it. It was like a seesaw of emotions. I'm like, this is cool. What the heck? This is cool. That's garbage. Why'd you do that? The whole show. Overall, I think I'm going to give it a positive rating, though, and this might be a little bit surprising based on that the ending was a downer. I'm not even going to put a spoiler alert up on this, but essentially, you guys care if you want to watch it? You tell me.
Well, it's, a nuclear holocaust. I'm guessing it's not going to end well.
They all lose their mind, and every single one of them, except for this chick on the cover, they all kill each other, right? and then the chick goes outside, and guess what?
She dies.
No, she realizes this isn't a world she wants to be alone in. So
Yeah.
which was an interesting, unexpected thing. Like I was like, because she was actually like the only sane, good character for most of the movie, and I was like, she loses it at the end and actually kills the last two people left. And then she goes out in the city and just sees a decimated world and realizes she made a mistake. It's like, why am I here alone in this nuclear Holocaust world now? It's like, so it was an interesting ending, but I wouldn't call it good, Right. So overall, though, I give this 6 bags of popcorn. It's worth checking out because it does get crazy. It's no hold barred craziness. This is not for kids. So The Divide on Stars. So check it out. Then I watched High Life. This was on Amazon Prime. Anybody familiar with this?
No.
This is from 2018. I actually thought this was a little bit newer because I've been meaning to watch this for a while. Yeah, it's from 2018. Actually, it's on Star. I actually watched it on Paramount Plus, though. Especially with like Amazon, they've got all the streaming services wrapped up in one kind of package for you. So, and you don't even know where you are. But anyway, this has Robert Pattinson in it. Is the big name in this one, and there's a bunch of other people. I was familiar with their faces, but none of them really with big names that I'm aware of what they were in anything else. But a lot of quality acting in this movie. And basically what happens in this is scientists need to experiment space travel, essentially. And of course, it's because we're ruining the planet and we've got to get off. So they send a ship out to see if they can make things work. Imagine if Elon Musk planned an expedition and he needed some guinea pigs. What they do in this movie is they take prisoners that are willing to go on this basically one-way journey to see if they can establish humankind elsewhere. And obviously that gives them an opportunity, if they want to change their lives later, to have a better second life, for lack of a better way to put it, rather than just kind of staying locked up forever. So this is basically a ship full of criminals that decide to take this journey in the hopes of a better life. And what's also interesting in this is during this is a I think it's like a 20-year journey or something like that. During this journey, they put a doctor, which is also a criminal, on this ship. It's a female. She's a, what do you call it? Doctors for babies.
Pediatrician.
No, like that take care of pregnant mothers and, helping mothers get pregnant, stuff like that, But anyway,
Yeah, I know. I can't think of it.
Yeah, me neither. So she's that kind of doctor. And during the entire journey, she is trying to make babies, but not through traditional methods. She's trying to, do the whole test tube baby thing, using the people that are on the ship as the appropriate tools. So that gets crazy too. But the main focus of this movie, the main storyline in this movie we're following along is Robert Pattinson and a baby. So we're following this journey of watching them by themselves, just Robert Pattinson and a baby, and how they're surviving, with flashbacks of how we got there. So that's how we know all this other stuff. I really won't get too deep into anything else other than that. I will say this, that the ending of this was definitely a big disappointment, downer. Didn't like the ending of this either. But it was very well done. Great, cinematography, great acting, great writing. Everything's really well done. But the biggest complaint I have is this gets really gratuitously vulgar. I don't know exactly, not vulgar. Degenerative. I don't know what you want to call it exactly. This is not for kids. Again, they spent a lot of time on really some degenerate stuff, which I didn't think was necessary for this story. So I felt like it was kind of gratuitous, but overall, this was definitely an interesting and a compelling movie. But with a bad ending, I'm going to actually give this one 5 bags of popcorn. Ironically enough, this is a higher quality movie than The Divide, but I would recommend you go watch The Divide before you watch this, especially if you're a sci-fi fan. This, aside from this taking place in space and kind of the backdrop of what the journey's about, the rest of it's kind of like this sexual drama. It's like it's really it's a different movie, that's for sure. So that's why I didn't hate it. But when I finished it, I wasn't, I was like, man, that was disappointing, kind of thing. Anyway. And then I watched Silo, which I didn't get to check out last night's or yesterday's drop. I checked out the episode prior, which was, I believe, episode 8. And Mike, you said you caught up on this?
Only 7. We watched episode 7 the other night.
Okay.
So I still have 8 and 9 to do.
Okay. What'd you think of 7?
It was good, but I can't remember how I explained it to you when I texted you that I just watched it. They're just so far from, they're off the path of the book. It's like they're going down all these little alleyways, on other storylines that aren't in the book. And I get it. It's like Hugh Howey's filling in a lot of this other stuff that he wasn't able to do in the book. But I think in doing so, they're missing what makes the book so great, because they're not focused on this thing here. It's a murder mystery. It's like I think people were wondering about the murders and who killed, Johns and who killed all the, but they're not thinking about, okay, why are they in the silo? What about this, this uprising that happened, years ago that, so I don't know. It's really, I said, I'm going to stick through it all the way through, but man, I was just struggling because I don't want to know all this stuff. Get to the stuff I want.
Let me clarify what you just said too. You're saying the show is a murder mystery, but the book isn't.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. I've said that without knowing what's in the book. I'm like, this it just keeps giving us more of this mystery rather than getting on with it, than getting on with what I expected this show to be.
Who cares about they're just building that up way too much. There are tons of shows on TV that are murder mysteries. Who done it, all this stuff. There's nothing like the books, that I know of. Obviously I haven't read everything, but it's just, I'm really disappointed because it's so good. the
Well,
potential.
I'm glad that I'm not crazy, because it sounds like, it sounds like I would like the book because of what I wish the show was too. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, well, and this is what I'll have to say about 8. I think I mentioned 7 was my favorite episode aside from the first 2, which were real focused on the things you're talking about that this story should be focused on. But then they get away from it. But 7 was a little bit better because there was a couple happenings. And but then 8 kind of fell off the wagon again, or it didn't really accomplish much. There was definitely a big event. But the whole rest of it's just this, again, murder mystery kind of show that didn't really take us anywhere further. I figured by episode 8, we'd have more answers about the silo and about the outside and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're just focused on, So I'm gonna actually drop it a notch. I think I have it at 7.5 bags of popcorn for the season on the website. I'm gonna be dropping it down to 7, simply because, and I think 8 was still done well, but it just didn't move forward again, which is my biggest complaint. So right now, what we're at 3 good episodes, 5 bad episodes. Maybe I need to drop it to a 6.5. I wouldn't say 5 bad episodes. I'd say 2 or 3 bad episodes, and then 2 episodes. So maybe we'll leave it at a 7. But anyway, check it out for yourself. If you're into murder mysteries, maybe you dig this, especially if you don't know anything about the books. Who knows?
Yeah, Emily's enjoying it.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, and she read Wool. She read the first book, and she's enjoying it. I think she read it so long. She really didn't enjoy the book a whole lot. It's sci-fi, and it's not really her thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, the production value is really good on it.
Yeah.
And I wonder, do they have this blueprint? When they started this, okay, this is our blueprint for 10 seasons or something like that. They've got 3 books, and let's just do all this and fill all this stuff in. When realistically, they can, I think it could be 2 seasons per book, and that gives you 6 seasons right there. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Like you said, I'm going to continue watching every single one of them as well. Do we know? Did we talk about how many episodes are in this season? 10, maybe.
There are 10. I think there are 10.
Yeah.
I might just go back and read the books again.
All right, and then lastly, I watched episode 1 of Secret Invasions, dropped on Disney Plus, of course, by Marvel, highlighting Nick Fury adventures. Pat, did you watch this?
No, I was planning to try to get around to it yesterday, but I just never did. Probably watch it today.
I did not. I saw advertisements for it. I thought it was a new movie, and then I'm hearing it's on Disney. It's like, oh, that's a series. That's how little I've been paying attention.
So I guess the biggest, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, Pat. But the biggest question I got for you: did you read Secret Invasion storyline from back in the day?
Yeah, I really liked Secret Invasion in the comics.
Okay,
but I know this probably has nothing.
Well,
besides
Skrulls. Yeah, Skrulls. Which that's all I can say, that I'm aware of what it was about before, because I didn't read it, and so I'm just watching it for what it is separately, and I really don't have a rating for this yet. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to give this a positive, let's say 7.5 bags of popcorn just out the gate, because I think episode 1 definitely kept me interested the entire time. And actually, to double down on that statement, I kind of put it on not really feeling like watching a show, and it actually drew me in. So it was obviously quality enough to draw me in, Correct me if I'm wrong too, Pat. This is the first time we've seen Nick Fury since he disappeared in the snap, right?
Oh, boy. I don't think so.
But you can't remember when otherwise it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him in Captain Marvel, but that was
before the snap.
In the timeline before the snap, yeah.
That was actually released before the snap, too.
And then well, yeah, we did see him because I can't remember. Some of the times we did see him, apparently he was a Skrull. You know, that was a Spider-Man with Mysterio. That was
Skrull
in that.
Spider-Man. Yeah, okay.
But it did come out like, well, you know, you're on Earth. Well, no, I'm not on Earth. He was out in space somewhere. So I thought he had been shown, but I'm confused at this point.
Yeah, he was in space on working on Saber, right? That's a new thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Had we heard about that in prior movies?
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, I thought it showed him in space on some kind of a spaceship or something, doing something, but they didn't really. I don't believe they gave it a name or anything back then.
Okay, well, yeah, that's where he was, and he's called down because his, you know, the Skrull that we did see at the end of Captain Marvel are. Yeah, that's the other thing that was kind of you know, crazy about this. And again, this isn't a spoiler. It's just the way they set this up is, you know, the Skrull that Captain Marvel saved at the end of Captain Marvel, I would have assumed those were the only Skrull on Earth, you know? But I guess essentially ever since that event, those Skrull from the end of Captain Marvel have been inviting all the other Skrull kind of refugees to come. What are the bad guys that we thought were the good guys at the beginning of Captain Marvel? What are they called?
The Kree.
The Kree, yeah. So, yeah, they're the Skrull that are refugees from the Kree onslaught have been kind of migrating to Earth ever since the end of Captain Marvel. Is that kind of the right way to put it, Pat?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's hundreds of Skrull, and everybody's aware of it. You know, all the people that matter, you know, like Nick Fury's aware of it, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. is aware of it, all, you know, and so that's not the news. The news is now some of them aren't happy. I won't exactly tell you why, but some of them aren't happy. So they're going to do bad things. And of course, since they're Skrull and they can be anybody at any time, it's a tough battle, right? That's kind of the setup for this show. So again, I you know, it's so funny too. I say this all the time that, you know, when things are brought up and then other things come up that are related to it and stuff like this. I've mentioned Invasion of the Body Snatchers as one of my favorite classic sci-fi movies recently, and this has a real Invasion of the Body Snatchers feel, which is what dawned on me almost immediately. Although it was very odd for me, and I've mentioned this on previous shows before as well, that when they use the same actors for so much stuff, it was really crazy for me to see, you know, Commander Krennic and what's her name? Solo's girlfriend.
Kira.
Yeah, see her having, you know, a relationship in this. They have a couple scenes where it's just the two of them. So I'm like, am I watching Star Wars or am I watching Marvel? It's like, because there's such major big parts of the Star Wars universe right now too. And now we're seeing them in a Marvel show, and it's like, it's fine, I guess. You know, I think my good friend Johnny pointed out to me, well, you know, they're popular. You shouldn't complain about crap. You know, well, I'm going to complain about it. You know, I don't want Chris Evans back yet as, I don't know, Sunfire. You know, well, that's not a very good example, but you know what I mean. You know, it's everybody is in everything that runs together, no matter, even if they're different characters, especially if they're characters that are similar to their other characters, you know, which Kira totally is, you know. So anyway, so I give this, check it out. You know, I'd give episode 1 definitely 7.5 bags of popcorn. It's good. Check it out. You know, we'll see where it goes. It could completely wreck itself, but I'm hoping that it just completely plays out in a positive way, which it has so far for me. So You said you're going to watch it today, Pat?
Probably soon.
Mike, you should check it out just so you have something to say next show.
Okay. You say that like I've been silent for an hour and 10 minutes.
No. I don't mean say something like just anything. I mean say something about one of the top shows that we're on. Which I know you've watched Silo, which is definitely good. So
I'll keep up.
I just felt a little bit lonely maybe on this one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get into more of it. So you should too. I think you'd like it too, and I think Mark would like it. Maybe even Em would like it. Cora might like it too. Who knows? Well,
last night we watched Ant-Man.
Oh yeah,
Quantum Mania or whatever. I like that. That was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
But I guess I should have watched this instead.
Right. I should have mentioned. Well, you actually mentioned to me you watched Ant-Man afterwards, but then I think you were just getting ready to finish your pick 3 stuff. So.
Yep.
Which is a perfect segue.
Yeah, it is.
You ready for pick 3 now?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. All right, awesome.
All right, here we go. As I was selecting these, I wasn't too impressed with them. But then once I see them all together, I'm like, oh, actually, this is a good group. I do like it. So
how you
here,
feel about this one, Pat?
I had 5 strong contenders I had to hash it out with.
Nice. Yep. So here are covers for 10 books coming out this Wednesday, June 28th. And the Exceller Group and our families have selected our 3 favorites. Can you believe it's almost the end of, or it is the end of June already?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, we got one more Sunday, one more Saturday, yeah.
So you got favorites, you have issues there before I start revealing these?
I don't know why but I wasn't feeling that detective. I don't like that Riddler. I don't like the Silk. I don't like the what's that? Joseph 1957. Yeah. Not really fans of those. So I guess overall, I wasn't a big fan of this week, but I guess, like the way Pat just put it was saying he had 5 strong contenders. I had 4 strong contenders. So I guess that's good.
Yeah.
Yep. As long as it's more than 3.
Yep. Now I have to say that Joseph 1950s, it's solicited to be out this coming week. Number 1 came out a couple days ago. So I don't know if that's actually if it's going to be delayed or what, but it's a small publisher too.
What is that publisher?
I can't even remember. I have number 1 downstairs.
Well, look at the corner box.
Well, yeah.
What is it?
CEX.
Is it CEX or is it sex?
No.
That's why I was trying to get Mike to say it, because I was wondering that myself. I'm like, what publisher is this? Sex? What the heck? Yeah. Anyway,
I almost this isn't the book that I'm reviewing this week, but it almost was number 1. I almost reviewed it.
You and your monkeys.
I know. You put a gorilla on, and then you put him in a freaking astronaut suit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, what we got?
All right. Well, you're gonna love this. So in the third place cover, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I didn't run down all the covers.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said what we got.
All right. Yeah. Well, you don't know what third place is. For We've got Detective Comics 1073 by Kelly Jones. And I love this one because of that yellow background. I think I've kind of grown weary of Kelly Jones's style over the last 20 years or so, but this one really struck me because of that background. And then Action Comics 1056, Steve Beach.
This is where we're at. You're weary of an artist style that I've never heard of.
Yeah, you have. You've seen them.
I may have seen him, but I've never heard that name.
See, I thought Mike was a big Kelly Jones fan.
Well, I was for a long time, but then it's just okay. It's his because he's so close to like Bernie Wrightson in a way. He's very inspired by him, but yeah, it's just a lot of his stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just not interested anymore.
Wow,
he's a great guy. I've seen some amazing interviews with him. He's a great guy. He did the what do you call it? Night's End stuff.
Yeah.
Or what was the first?
Nightfall. Bane and Batman. Yeah. I was never a big fan of his, but I really like this cover. I think, part of it's the coloring.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So we'll have to make sure Kevin gets Kelly Jones on cover combat.
Right.
You'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
He does really good horror stuff, so that's probably another outside of the Batman. Maybe that's why Kevin's not. He's not on the radar so much.
Maybe.
Silk #2, Dave Johnson. Man, I love this. I love westerns too, and I love Dave Johnson's work.
That's what I totally. When I was talking to my family about it, I was like, "That silk cover's just in there because it's a western." Because I didn't like it. Although it does look like a movie poster, so I like that setup,
Yeah.
Did you say Action Comics?
Yeah, Steve Beach, 1056.
Okay.
And I like this one, kind of when you go back to Patrick's cover combat, that Spawn Haunt cover where they do the split. I've never been a fan of those because most of the time things don't match up perfectly. And I really like this one, how they did the split on this one. Not that it's the same, Well,
who is that on the left? I like the split too. Who is that on the left? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not reading Action, but it seems like I should be. I hear good stuff about it.
Yeah, that looks really cool. That reminds me of the spacesuit, Zod's spacesuit from Man of Steel. That's what I was thinking, but I don't know.
All right, next up, Batman: The Adventure Continues, #6 by Gilliam March. Bryn Mawr #1, Damian Worm. Riddler Year 1, #5 by Bruno Redondo.
As soon as I saw that one, I was like, "Is this another World War Tree cover, or what's it called? World Tree."
Oh, World Tree. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't it look really similar to that, which we just had on the last show too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Then Alien #3, Matt Walsh. It was a toss-up between this and the A cover, and this one's just a little more stylized than the A cover. Extreme Venomverse #1, the second print, Romulo Fajardo Jr. Sorry to Romulo for butchering your name. Then Guardians of the Galaxy #2, the second printing, Marco Cicchetto. And then Joseph 1957 #2, Fabiano Ambu. And on those second prints, go to the Exceller Facebook page. I highlighted some upcoming reprints.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's cool.
And those two made it on there.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now we'll get to what we all know already. The third place cover was Guardians of the Galaxy #2, second printing.
Very nice.
No surprise there. I think we're all fans of Cicchetto's work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. And then this is where it goes off the rails for one of us. #2, we have Detective Comics 1073 from Kelly Jones.
Yep. And the positive things you guys have to say about this cover. So, I mean, yeah, I love you both so much. Your artistic appreciation being totally outside of any scope of mine is very interesting, and I'm thankful to have you all around me because of it. So
now, because we pointed out, you like it more, right?
I can appreciate it. No, I still don't like it, but but I can appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm. All right, and number 1.
Hey, was this guy doing those detective frame books that I love so much?
The recent ones?
Yeah.
No,
Ah.
not him. But those are
what happened to
cool.
those? Those are awesome.
Yeah, it was in the running for this one, but I like Patrick pointed out, the colors. I think it's the coloring that really got this one.
So this. Did you say this is the B cover and then the frame is the A cover? Is that what it is?
Correct. Yeah.
You picked this over the frame? Dang gum.
I did. It's those colors, man. They're great, and it's Batman climbing up the side of a building.
He looks like he has like eagle wings, though. You know, it's not my
Yeah.
there, you know. And
That's Kelly
you guys
Jones.
are mentioning the color, how much you like. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, even the way Kelly Jones always does Batman's cowl, the ears are so long and exaggerated. Even Marcus pointed it out. He's like, "What's going on here?"
So he didn't like it?
No, he voted for it. I explained it to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's great."
All right.
And number 1, surprisingly,
wow,
Riddler year 1. Yep.
Dadgum, I think I was a big goose egg this week.
Yeah, the 2 that you dislike the most.
Yeah.
Were 1 and 2. Yeah, this week there were a lot of really kind of different styles.
The Guardians of the Galaxy was definitely my 4th when I said that there was 4 strong ones. It was my 4th and running. I should have picked that one, of course, apparently. But
yeah, you like the action and Extreme Venomverse.
Yeah. So this kid, where do I know that kid from? Is he the Riddler in Hush? Or yeah.
Well, this is Riddler year 1, so I think this goes.
Well, I mean, not Hush, Batman. Oh. Batman, right?
The movie. Oh, in the movie?
The movie.
I don't know. I'm not reading this.
No, the portrait. This is a person. Do you know what I'm talking about, Pat?
No.
Okay, Robert Pattinson's the Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
The kid that ended up being the Hush. The Hush, right? Looks just like this kid.
Yeah, I don't remember. I do not. What I will say is I don't like how they're sort of taking elements from that Riddler from the Robert Pattinson Batman and sort of seemingly making him into the DC continuity. That version of Riddler, I'm not a huge fan of, even though I like the Batman movie. Seems like they're trying to integrate the two.
Yeah, I agree with that statement there.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to find a good picture of this kid. There he is.
Kid? He's like 30 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're our age, that's kid. When you've got a 30-year-old son, all 30-year-olds become kids.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. They're trying to take elements of that Paul Dano.
Exactly.
Picture you're showing there and sort of merging him into DC continuity. From what I can tell from the outside, not reading the comics,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, right? Okay, so I'm not crazy. Good. I love when we come to that conclusion.
All right, so there you have it. Those are our 3 favorites. Not everybody's 3 favorites.
Well,
Thank you,
The
Karen.
audience enjoyed it. All right. And yeah, it's excellent job. I'm glad, I feel like I would be the worst pick 10 for the pick 3 candidate of all of us. All my stuff would look the same. It would be the super generic, stuff that, like, I'm the perfect guy to pick what sells on the Whatnot show. Because I feel like the people showing up for the Whatnot show, well, I shouldn't say that, because I just had a crappy Thursday show. But in general, when I watch other shows and stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah. But it's all like this new, normal, nothing artistic, kind of flashy stuff that sells there, that's what my pick 3 would look like if I was in charge,
I have no problem if you want to submit 5 or if you want to go for 10, one of the, like a guest.
Well, I think we talked about it one time. It would be fun. I think we should do maybe for the anniversary show this year or something where we all switch segments. That would be fun, right?
I can't do the action figures though.
No, okay, you just volunteered. You're going to do action figures. I'm going to do pick 3, and Pat's going to do what Pat watched. It's decided. It's set in stone.
All right. I'll do it.
All right, cool. All right, but something that I do think I'm okay with is hold on a second.
Look at you.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't matter where I'm at this week. So yeah.
Uh-oh. All right, let's find out what the heck he's talking about.
Just for the record, Paul the Kid Dano is 39.
He looks like he's 19 though.
That's what I was gonna say. He looks. I bought 30, but I would 39. Dadgum.
Yep.
Is that picture couldn't? I don't know. That picture. I should have looked when that picture was. It might be an old picture of him.
Yeah, probably when he was 37.
Oh, he was in Cowboys and Aliens. Geez, when was that? That was a long time ago.
Yeah. All right.
He was Percy in Cowboys and Aliens from. Daggone, I can't even find the year. Guess the year though, Pat.
Cowboys.
2010.
2000. Yeah, I was gonna say 11. So 10.
I was gonna say 12, but
there you go.
Another garbage, disappointing movie that I thought I would love, but anyway.
Yep, I thought I'd hate it, so I didn't watch it.
Pat, did you see it?
I never saw it.
Well, don't waste your time. I don't think anybody else did anyway either. Anyway, but we're here to talk about comics we read, though. Mike, did you read a comic or comic?
I did.
2011.
2011, you nailed it, Pat.
Yeah.
I did read one. I did not read.
Hold on. So he was 28. No, 27.
Don't bring math into this.
He was 27. So, kid. All right, Mike, what'd you read?
All right. I did not read Astrobots #2.
Oh.
But I did read.
Oh, interesting.
Void Rivals #1.
Wow. I can't wait to hear this.
Do you guys know anything about it? Have you been on the? Because it's like the biggest talk of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I mean, it's impossible not to avoid spoilers because of the books that's coming out, they're spinning out or have been announced. So
yeah. So this actually come out June 14th, and Void Rivals #1 by Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. Everybody's already talked this book up, but I'll give you a quick rundown. We've got two rivals. They crash on a planetoid. And wait, I can't even read my own notes. Oh, okay. And basically, so they're rivals, and they're, technically they should try to kill each other, but in not doing so and working together, they're basically breaking all kinds of protocol and things like that. But in order for each of them to survive, they need to work together to try to get off the planet. Both of their ships have crashed, and they're both in different, one's more destroyed than the other one. One of the characters, his name's Derek, and he has this glove, and it's pretty funny. It's called a hand droid. And it actually, it's kind of that's it on his right hand there. And it talks to him, and it, explains, it can like determine how much damage his ship has sustained and where they are and things like that.
Does it control him? Like, could it choke him if it wanted to, kind of thing?
Well, yeah, it drug him out of the rubble. He was unconscious.
That sounds dangerous.
Out, so.
Take that glove off.
Yeah, because basically, it's telling him, hey, you're breaking protocol. It'll turn him in, I guess. And the biggest reveal is while they're kind of searching around for a way to get off, the big reveal was they discover and awaken Jetfire, which is great. It's creating the first part of a new shared universe.
Yeah.
And the shared universe is going to be called an Energon, which will be, right now, it's going to be Void Rivals, Transformers, and G.I. Joe are all going to be in this shared universe.
I'm rooting for this. Yeah,
this was really good. It was, even if you take out the Transformers element that was shown here, this was a really cool story. And I know Kevin's a big fan of Enemy Mine from the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It totally reminded me of Enemy Mine. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I assume Patrick was too. I mean, we all grew up the same era. It's
Pat?
It's funny. My dad was a huge fan of that movie. As a result of that, I couldn't stand it because that's the only movie he ever wanted to watch was Enemy Mine.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Wow. Yeah, Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has feels of that, the enemies, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you take out the Transformers, this is still a really, really fun story. And I'm looking forward to the next issue. There's still some cool stuff that goes on at the end, so I won't reveal that for any spoilers. So there were neat stuff outside of the Transformers, which is kind of overshadowing everything.
Like you said,
go ahead.
Sorry. I was just saying, I just wanted to clarify that when I said I'm rooting for this, I wasn't just talking about this book being good, but the whole crossover aspect and all of it becoming kind of connected universes, having that make sense. That sounds exciting, hopefully it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where we're getting to the creative teams that are going to be doing these books. So Transformers #1 is going to be out in October, and we have Daniel Warren Johnson writing and drawing this, which is exciting. I'm a big fan of both his writing and drawing. I think Patrick likes his artwork as well.
Yeah, but when I think of Daniel Warren Johnson, I don't think Transformers.
Right.
Was a head scratcher about this. But that looks good. I mean,
yeah.
What do you think when you think of Daniel Warren Johnson?
Not robots and vehicles, and he's more, out there, crazy, anatomy, stylistic. It's weird.
Okay.
Maybe it'll work though.
Yeah, because these are the very specific lines and certain rules that you have to follow in drawing these characters. And he's very stylized and things like that. So I'm excited for it because I think it'll be pretty challenging for him. And from what I've heard, he's a huge Transformers fan. So
must be.
That goes a long way in I think in what Kirkman's doing, because he's a huge Transformers fan. So you've got fans of the IP creating it. So that's and it's not just the IP, it's the classic stuff. They grew up with this stuff.
Pat, did you say you were a Transformers fan when you were a kid?
No, I wasn't.
Because I heard something interesting that I wasn't aware of. Maybe you guys won't be either. But Beast Wars and Transformers were like a totally different thing, even though they obviously were the same universe and similar. But they weren't kind of integrated the way they did in the movie. Did you guys hear? Were you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, the way the movie integrated them, that's not how it was in the comics or with the action figures lore or whatever. Which I didn't know that. I thought they were Transformers that transformed into Beast, but Beast, right. I guess Beast Wars is a totally separate thing, but anyway.
Yeah, I never watched the cartoon growing up. I didn't read any of the books, but I'm really excited about all this. So, and then next up we've got Duke #1 is in December, and then Cobra Commander #1 is in January, and those are written by Joshua Williamson and artwork Andrea Milana. I'm not familiar with.
You familiar with Williamson? No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's he from?
He wrote the Flash.
Yeah. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he wrote a big run of the Rebirth Flash stuff.
Okay.
So, I think he did a little bit of Batman too, between Tom King and what's his name? Who's on there now?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't pay. See, that's the reason I couldn't even tell you who the artist and writer for the current books I'm reading.
Yeah. Well, we all know I'm just having a brain fart here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've got December, January for the G.I. Joe books, October for the Transformer book. And this is, I think this series, Void Rivals, it's a must-have. This is the beginning of some really great world building and some good stories by some really well-respected creators. So this is a must-have.
Hey, Mike, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Can you put that in my pull box?
Void Rivals #1?
Yeah.
That came out 2 weeks ago. I grabbed the last copy off of the shelf at Flashback so I can read it. I have the 1 in 10 variant covering, and then I think I have 3 copies of #1. I might be able to find a way to get you one.
That's what I was gonna say. Can hook me up to at least borrow one, maybe a trade if I like it enough. But
yeah, I'll trade you some. I have an extra #1. I'll trade you for.
That's another big difference between the three of us, that I'm as I change, I basically purge and I move on. You guys are awesome because you kind of keep things forever. So like 20 years later, when you change your mind, you still have the old stuff you wish you still had. I purge, move on, and then 20 years later, I'm like, man, I wish I had that. And then I got to buy it all again. Yeah. That's where all my money goes.
Yeah, I mean, you've purged some key books, and I'm going. That's why I asked him, like, these are doubles, right? Or are you purging keys? You're like, yeah, I'm purging keys. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, stay tuned on Exceller. We're gonna have some keys up for sale here. Well, we've already got some. Yeah. Put up some great key, slabbed copies. So anyway, we'll talk about that later too.
Well, some of those other ones are ready to go when you get a chance. I put them at the front.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Just to tie into Mike's review here, this is all kind of interesting because this all sort of came out sort of at the same time. This is all the fallout from the IDW, I guess, implosion and losing licenses and things like that. Because now we find out that G.I. Joe and Transformers are going to, Kirkman over at Skybound Image, and Marvel is set to reprint ROM and Micronauts. So it looks like possibly they're getting that IP back, and we'll see if there's new stuff that's going to be put out, or if it's just going to be the classic material. So
all of that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were worried that Marvel was going to get G.I. Joe and Transformers back, and they didn't want it to go that route. I think IDW really drove a wedge between fans and the book. That nobody really liked the direction, especially the G.I. Joe stuff. People were really dissatisfied with it over the last 10 years.
Really?
And this, I think this is going to pull a lot of people back in. I don't know if Larry Hama is going to be involved in the GI Joe. I don't know if he's editing it or something like that. But
I thought I saw that he was the GI Joe 301. He's writing it. So
okay. Yeah. So that's. I think they're really going to draw all those fans back in. So, and I don't think Kirkman will allow it to get messed up. I think he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, let me take. I forgot my pictures up there.
Well, we're still talking about it. So, yeah.
I got to scroll to take it down. There you go. All right, Patrick, what do you got?
all right. Well, I took a bunch of stuff with me on vacation and intending to read some things, and didn't do a really good job. One of the things I had was The Last Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have the hardcover, took it with me, and I only got as far as basically the first issue. So it's too early to tell. I'm undecided. I didn't love what amounts to the first issue. I thought the art was okay. Thought the writing was just okay. And part of it too, I think, is because it was spoiled what was going on in this book. Sort of, you're seeing this last, lone turtle, but he seems to be carrying conversation on with the rest of them. And you come to find out that he, spoiler, that's the title. He is the last turtle surviving, and that he's just like sort of hearing voices from the past, or, imagining his brothers. Like I said, it's too early. I'll get back to you on this one. Just sort of up in the air on it right now.
Okay.
I like the concept. I like the idea behind it, but we'll see if they execute it.
Yeah.
And do you guys
heard nothing but great things about it?
The only thing I remember, at the time was there was like an artist. Wasn't there an artist deal where they started with one guy and he couldn't deliver, and they had to win or something? So
the first issue was delayed because it was and I don't know their names. I can't remember who the initial artist was. But I don't even know who was not happy with. I don't know if it was Eastman or Laird or both of them, but they were unsatisfied with the artwork, so they got rid of him and brought someone else in to redo it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what's funny, I've got the ash can, which has the original. I think it has the original art in it.
Okay.
And I'll have to dig that out and or I don't want to dig those out. I'll look online. It would be interesting to see how they compare.
Yeah.
Because I was fine with the ash can artwork. I thought it was good.
Interesting.
And it's interesting that you're not pleased or over the moon about the art that they actually selected. So
yeah, it's sort of just average, I'd say, and it's I'll give the credits. It's written by Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz, and the artist, at least for the first issue, was Ben Bishop. So I don't know who the original was. This is sort of this situation happened with Hellboy at one point. Mike or Dark Horse Mike Mignola had hired Lee Bermejo to take over for Mike, and because of delays, he wasn't delivering in time. They went back and redid all his stuff, and it's interesting to see the comparisons between Duncan Fegredo, who they eventually landed on to take over. You can compare the pages one for one against each other. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I've always thought that would be great to do is have a script and a book written, and they may have done this somewhere and give it to like 5 different artists. I may have done it before, and I think you said they've done it, and then have them all draw just off of that with no discussions with the writers or anything, and see how it turns out. I want them to do that in music too. Someone write a song, the music and the lyrics, and then give it to 5 different bands and see what they come up with.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm interested to hear this because I read issue 1, and that's as far as I got. And I thought it was pretty good. I don't read the Turtles at all, but this, like you said, the concept of this was really intriguing, so I gave it a shot.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll get back to you on it. Hopefully.
I bought all 6 of them and then sold them all on Whatnot.
Well, no surprise here. I have 3 copies of number 1.
Well, it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm never going to get around to reading this. And
Right.
It was hot. It was hot at the moment. So, I got a pretty good deal for it, but anyway. All right. I got back to, or I shouldn't say back to, I continued on my monstrous journey in the trade paperback volume 2. I read chapter 7, this is issue 7, and chapter 8, this is issue 8. I figured I have the trade volume 2, so might as well read it to issue 12, right?
Right. Yeah, because you were saying that it's kind of, you enjoyed the first arc, but now it's just kind of not your thing.
Yeah, it seemed it took a turn, but again, we talk about this regularly too. It's kind of like the mood of what you're reading. I didn't notice what I was talking about where it felt like it was written towards more of a female audience in issue 6. I didn't feel that in issue 7 at all. That being said, not a whole lot happened in issue 7. First of all, this creature you see on the cover of issue 7, this is the creature that's inside Maiko. The character, the girl that you usually see on the cover of all the monstrous. This creature is what is inside of her that I've kind of given a Venom reference to before, which this is exactly how it looks in the book too. So maybe you might understand even more so how I've given it kind of a Venom reference. It kind of looks like some kind of crazy symbiotic thing. And, this is what, if I've talked about it before, that she's missing an arm.
Mm-hmm.
And basically whenever she needs to fight, this creature comes out of her arm, but is still attached, or comes out of her shoulder, but is still attached to her shoulder as it's, doing what it wants. It's still its own separate entity inside of her that exposes itself to the real world just outside of her shoulder socket. It's kind of,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, in issue 7, just a little bit of a reminder of where I was. She met up with a bunch of old friends and met some new friends to team up with to continue her journey on finding out information about her past and her mother and about this creature that's inside of her and, possibly how to get rid of it as well. And that's kind of all that happens in 7. I guess that there is an interesting point where she is starting to care more about her friends. She's kind of an angry girl. She's bitter about life. She's only around other people because she realizes 2 reasons. 1, she realizes that she needs them, or 2, they won't leave her alone. And I'm talking about friends in regard. I talk about the little fox girl, which moving on to issue 8, the little fox girl and the cat, which is like a wizard, are highlighted on the cover of issue 8. And these are the 2 that won't leave her alone, that are constantly attaching themselves to her in her journey, as they are very important parts of the journey. And, she starts to warm up to that actually in this episode, or in this issue. And that's what I was mentioning. The only thing that really happens in issue 7, besides for more of the same, where she's starting to build relationship with these new people, she's having memories about her mother with the old friend she's reunited with. The only thing that happens in this is she starts to care about the people around her. So whenever she kind of loses control and this thing wants to come out and feed, essentially, it gets hungry and it needs to come out of her to feed. She jumps into the ocean. I may have mentioned, I think I did, she's on a ship headed to the Isle of Bones, which is where she needs to go for the next part of her quest. She actually jumps out of the ship to go to the bottom of the ocean to protect people on the ship from this creature, and actually there's a mermaid there, and this thing eats a mermaid. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, then issue 8 starts to get a little bit more interesting. I've mentioned the Dawn Court and the Dusk Court, which are separate factions of the Arcanics, which are part animal, part human, or part mystical being and part human. But there's 2 separate factions, the Dawn and the Dusk Courts. Aside from us just, following their journey on the ship to where they're headed, we visit the Dawn and the Dusk Court separately to see what's going on with them while she's journeying to the Isle of Bones. And everybody knows she's headed there. And we start to find out about why she's headed there and what's going on there that Maika doesn't even know yet, that she's in store for, because there's some god there, the Lord of the Cameron or something like that is there, and Maika doesn't even know that yet. She's just kind of following visions that's where she needs to go next, and memories and stuff. She doesn't really even know why she's going there. She just knows the next answer to the unanswered questions she has is there. That's why she's heading there. But we're seeing in issue 8, the Dusk and the Dawn Courts talking about what happens if she reaches there and we need to stop her. So then there's actually a big event that happens on the ship that people trying to stop her. They don't succeed, of course. And this issue was pretty good. I really liked issue 8 a lot. And again, it did not give me the same feel I was talking about with issue 6 either.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't, I can tell you exactly. There was it seemed like every other page in issue 6, they were talking about goddesses, and it seemed like every single character that they were introducing us to was female as well. So that's why I had this feel of it's just aiming towards females. But then there's more male characters in issue 7 and 8. So it kind of, I don't know whether that was just a one hit kind of thing, or, a one shot kind of thing with issue 6, but I didn't feel the same thing with issue 7 and 8. So I'm moving back into wanting to continue to read this now, because I said this about issue 6 anyway. The art is obviously beautiful. The writing's well done, the story's being told well. So I'm enjoying it. It was just, I didn't feel like it was for me for 6, but I'm moving back into, maybe it is for me in 7 and 8. So I'm back to giving these get-its for everyone. And I'm happy I have the trade. I didn't have to go, because I may have, after reading issue 6, been like, I'm done. I'm not going to read this anymore. So I'm glad I have the trade pushing me to read to 12. And I hope by the time I get to 12, I want the 3rd, because I think I may have ordered volume 3 already. So.
Yeah. Are these 2 characters kind of like comic relief, or are they kind of lighthearted characters?
No.
Oh,
but they are kind of. So they aren't intentionally comic relief, but they are kind of funny. Like the Fox girl, she's so naively innocent. She says amusing things and does amusing things, but she's not trying to be funny. She's just being her, Yeah. And the cat is very funny because he's a cat, but he's as serious as can be. He's serious and he's angry.
So maybe that's where it's kind of humorous, where
exactly
he's got this little cat and he's like, okay.
Yeah, so it is funny, but it doesn't feel like that's the intent, It's
right.
And that's another thing. And that's what I said, like Maika being a angry girl, and then this is her. These are the 3 close-knit people or characters of the book, is the cat and the fox girl Maika. It's a very interesting trio,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's good.
yeah, and the cat doesn't want the little fox girl there at all. The only reason the fox girl's there is because she refuses to leave them alone. And the cat literally wants to kill the fox girl, but Maika just keeps protecting the fox girl from the cat, and then is constantly telling the fox girl to leave him alone. It's like it's such an interesting dynamic. It's funny. It's fun, Funny.
Well, obviously they shop at the same store.
Right. I was gonna say.
I'll buy the shirt, you buy the pants.
Well, they're on a pirate ship. It's a uniform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I'm back to Get It for Monstrous issues 7 and 8.
I just found the second printing for number 1 the other day.
That was insane.
Yeah, and we're not going to say where. Secret location.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it for $10. I've been looking for that since I missed it when it was initially solicited. Because that number 2 or number 1 second printing, so hard to find. Got it for $10.
And how much did you say it was going for? See that it was going for on eBay?
People list it for 200 plus, and that's usually where I've seen it in the past. So that was a good snag.
Yeah, it was. You're impressive with those bargain finds.
Yeah, I had a stack, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, because I only had $15 on me. And I'm like, okay, these are all going back.
Yeah.
So,
all right, cool. So that was good. Are we ready to move into Pat's?
Yep. I'm gonna run and refresh my coffee while his introduction starts.
You do you.
Yeah.
All right, you ready, Pat? Though.
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. I feel so alone when no one else's live video feed is going.
Yeah, I'm still here though.
Okay.
All right. Give you a
All
quick update on the Dragonfly HasLab because it's June, right? You know what that means.
It is. Oh man, I keep forgetting. What is it again?
It's GI June.
GI June, right? Sorry about that.
It's the campaign's chugging along, doing just fine. It passed the first stretch goal of the first additional figure, and now they had announced when this was going to unlock, but they hadn't shown who was going to unlock. So at 16,000 orders, it will unlock Jane Glenda Mulligan. Mulligan. I don't know how you say that. Mulligan, maybe. Maybe that's it. Mulligan.
Silent G.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this character.
Me neither.
But they are currently, just before the show I looked, and they're just under 14,000 orders. So they got 2,000 more to unlock her, and then there's another one I think at 18,000, if I'm not mistaken. So it's chugging along. Couple more.
When's it end?
I think at the end of the month, maybe. I knew that last week, but yeah, I don't have it written down. Sorry.
That's good.
Still have some time.
Yeah.
More announcements for GI June. We have Grunt. He's sort of like the normal Grunt soldier.
Right. Nice.
Additional head, helmet, accessories. We have Lowlight. So I remember him from back in the day. I think I had his figure.
That's cool. That rifle case is awesome. Everything fits in there, right?
I would assume so.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are more in tune with details like that than I would be. It is neat. In a more deluxe figure. This is the Cobra Snow Serpent. I think he's kind of cool. You can kind of see on the box art there, he has like that wolf's head thing for his disguise.
That's great.
That is cool. Yeah.
So the normal releases of Grunt and Lowlight are that, you know, 25 retail price point. The Snow Serpent is 35 because he comes decked out with more accessories and gear.
And that's the one I want.
Yeah.
Why?
I haven't been seeing any of these in the store.
I have. I think part of it, well, it depends on your point of view. A part of them, for me, they're easy to overlook because they're still in that cardboard packaging phase, and a lot of it's not. I've seen some really bad, you see these ones. Let me see here. Let's go back to Grunt and Lowlight. They're using, they're featuring the actual figure a lot more in the packaging, whereas the ones I've been seeing in the last few months have been using, artwork as the main focus of the front of the package. And some of them haven't been great, in my opinion. I have seen them here and there. Target especially seems to be the place I see them the most. We've been on a hot toys streak here, so let's talk about IG-12.
Oh.
I said back at the time when Mandalorian was going on it, I feel like they just put him in there to make a toy out of him.
Yeah, he did.
You can spend $264 and get the Hot Toys version of IG-12.
Oh, man.
So we'll run through some of his features. Theirs is like sort of like spec sheet, little over 14 inches tall. He has electronic features. You can see that a little better in the shots coming up. There he is compared to an Apple, in case you were wondering. You can fit a little Din Grogu in the cockpit area. There he is with the melon that he was trying to run off with. There you can see you can swap out. You can take Din Grogu out. You can put the little creature, the little droid expert. Well, I don't think they ever really named the.
He's not the one that was actually in Rise of Skywalker. Okay,
yeah. Babu Freak.
Right.
His race, which they'll spell out here. I think we'll see that coming up here, what they're called. You can see he has the electronic sound features for yes and no.
Oh, that's awesome. Man, you nailed it with this just being in there for an action figure. Although this looks cooler to me as an action figure than it did in the show, though.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's a stand. There he is, just sort of posed. There he is interacting with Din Djarin. Swap out with the creature. View from the back. Scaled to the alien creature. Here's a comparison between IG-11 and IG-12. I don't know why they had to show you that. I mean, there is another comparison from the back.
Yeah, can you go to that front one again, actually? Yeah, it's just the chest is out and it's darker. There's nothing really else. Yeah. That is odd.
There he is mediating the fight between the two factions.
How much is that set?
Yeah, those are sold separately.
Okay.
And we're going to kind of get into that territory here when we get to the accessories version of this figure.
Okay.
A few more shots with other figures, fruits. Here's some food. Again, there's everything it comes with, I guess, again, for some reason. All right, so this is the accessory pack. This will cost you additional monies. It will be $360 for all of this. Everything we've already seen, plus some exclusive accessories to go with other figures. We have Din Grogu's hover pram. We have the Din Djarin. 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 We have the We have, they are Anzellans. That's the alien race. We get two additional creatures for a total of 3 if you buy the whole set. We get a mouse droid.
Oh, man.
We get accessories for Din, stolen from the troopers. Not Din himself. He's sold separately. But there's the backpack that you look how the backpack is there, Kevin. There's your answer.
Yep. You got to pull that cape over to the side. Yep. See, now they've totally failed on the show because he never pulls his key. He just plops it over his back and it just snaps right in.
Yeah.
He doesn't take that second to move the cape around.
And finally, we have some accessories for Bo-Katan. Her new shoulder pauldron with the mythosaur and her energy shield that attaches to her forearm. And apparently this is from what I could tell, this is a new Bo-Katan they haven't solicited yet. The old one had plastic hair. This one has real, like, rooted hair, like, like Barbie doll figure hair.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were kind of excited and they thought this looked pretty good, but so far she hasn't been put up for sale yet.
Looks really good. Jeez, oh man. So you got to buy the IG-12 to get all these cool accessories for your Din Djarin and Bo-Katan figures. That's messed up.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Unless they're going to sell those accessories by themselves. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to do. I thought you were going to tell us these accessories for this that have partially for that set. It'll be another 200 or something like that. But you got to buy, like I said, you got to buy IG-12 to get accessories. That doesn't seem to make sense. I don't know.
A lot of it,
crossover thing. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say a lot of it has to do with a lot of these figures have already been released, so they're sort of like playing a catch-up game where you can add the extra accessories. So I don't know what route they're going with the Bo-Katan because she apparently is a totally new figure. So why she wouldn't come with that stuff? Yeah.
Well, G.I. Joe used to sell. Remember back in the day, you used to be able to just get accessory packs.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat thing. Star Wars has actually done it too, and because of we're going down a little bit of a side road, and I didn't feature any McFarlane, even though there were some new announcements this week. Maybe I'll catch up with McFarlane next week. But because there's a no weapon policy with the DC Universe figures that McFarlane is making, he is actually releasing like a weapons pack that can be used with the DC figures.
Oh, genius! Nice.
You have to order that directly from his McFarlane Toys online site.
Yeah. Okay.
Good way to get around things.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll totally go to the cheap end of the action figure market. Well, of course, there's going to be some reaction. They announced the new Rocky reaction figures this week.
Oh man,
I like those.
3 in this wave. Although I think there was an exclusive. There was an exclusive version of Rocky, a beat up version. He seemed to be like a chase or a limited release, and he's showing up as sold out on the Super 7 website.
Wow.
He has, they're really, I would have pulled a pick, but you really couldn't see much difference other than the card art. The card art was bloodied up and bruised. It was hard to see the differences in the actual figure itself.
Those are awesome. Anybody looking for a gift for Johnny? There you go, right there.
Yeah.
I did not know he was a big Rocky fan.
Huge. Yeah, he loves Rocky so much. Yeah.
Interesting.
He loves his Rocky so much he's got all his daughters loving it too. Yep.
And finally, to wrap it up, lay off something a little different. And I was surprised the sticker price on this when I saw it because Tweeterhead is a statue manufacturer. They've done some really good stuff in the past. A lot of good, really cool classic DC figures or statues. And they're announcing a new line called Myths and Monsters. And this is their first release. And he's the Gillman maquette. He's really cool, I think. He comes with some alternate heads. We'll get here in a second. This is sort of like, this is the more modern, they're calling the more modern look.
It's a modern creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, that's kind of their take on him.
Yeah.
The base is really cool too. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of shots of the base. I think there's one coming up, but there's lots of different creatures hidden on the base. There's the back shot.
You have packaging on this?
No packaging shown.
This is from who? I'm sorry.
Tweeter head. Now they used to sort of be there. You can see the two alternate heads, the more classic and the more modern is what they're calling these.
Awesome.
The Tweeter head used to sort of be a standalone company. It was like sort of a grassroots campaign. They did very limited numbers, but then their stuff got to be so popular they partnered with Sideshow, and when that happened, it seemed like their prices went up. but their quality hasn't suffered. They're still doing really cool stuff. There's a shot of the base. You can't really see everything there. You can see the sort of the toad hidden in the bottom of the snake on the right hand side.
Great.
Yeah, it is.
And that face, that'll give you nightmares. Holy cow.
Yeah. Either one.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
There is a black and white limited version.
What?
I don't know. I mean,
hold on. This isn't just a black and white picture. This is that figure.
Honestly, Kevin, I'm not sure what they did here. They might have just, photoshopped it to black and white.
Oh, okay.
They only made 100 of them.
Yeah, there's only 100 of them.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not interested. The color is
the good thing is, he's the same price as the regular edition. The bad thing is that regular price is $500.
Oh. Is this?
Yeah, I won't own one.
All right, this might be a stupid question because you may have said it, Pat, and I was totally just enthralled with how cool it looks. Is this posable or is this just a statue? This is just a statue.
They're calling it a maquette. It's one of those weird things that they've.
Okay.
I don't know what maquettes were traditionally, I think, made in-house in production companies as design work for like movies and things like that to base the characters in movies on. But it's a statue.
You know what I always took the word maquette meaning?
What's that?
Small statue. Like, because these are typically smaller than what you'd kind of think could be an average size statue, aren't they? Typically.
No. That's probably a misconception. They can be any size.
Okay.
Yeah, any size scale, same as what they deem a statue. It's the same thing.
Did you give us the scale on this? I'm sorry if I missed that.
What? How many apples is this one?
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't show it by an apple. I can look that up as we're wrapping things up. I'm surprised they don't show. He's probably pretty sizable because their DC stuff, I think is usually in the 250 to 300 range, and there's going to be some reason this is 500. Here's some designs for other characters: a Medusa and a werewolf.
Oh man!
If they say if Gilman sells well, that they already have these two in design phase. So
they should have started with the werewolf.
I was gonna say, would you lead with that one? I'd lead with the werewolf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a preference thing, I guess. I sort of lean more creature from the Black Lagoon than I do werewolf. So
yeah, they're all awesome.
Yeah, I like those.
Dadgum, gotta win the lottery. Dadgum.
Yeah, so that's it for the Horizon this week.
Man, we're missing Karen. Hold on one sec. Hold that thought. Say it. What'd you say, Pat?
That's it for the Horizon this week.
Oh, that was great, man. But anyway, that's where I'm starting to lean when I was mentioning that whole thing about how you guys keep the stuff and I purge and I move on. I'm moving from norm to like outside the box kind of stuff that I felt like if I had money, I would be more apt to buy that, creature than I would, some Wolverine statue right now. That's kind of where I'm at right now, but
yep.
Stay tuned. I'll change my tune next year.
So yeah. He is 16 and a half inches tall. I haven't got the measuring tape
Dang,
out.
well, yeah, that's big. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
All right, but great work, great job, awesome again. So again, wow, we're rolling right along here, getting these shows under control. Not making our millions of viewers have to watch us for hours and hours and hours, just an hour, a couple hours.
Right.
All right, so we ready to move on to the recap then?
Oh, there's a recap? Oh,
Yeah, every week.
Every week.
So that sounds like you're ready. Here we go. All right, Mike, it's a good thing you're so prepared because you're first.
I'm here. I didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right, recap. Congratulations to Patrick for winning Cover Combat 4.
Thank you.
That's an easy one there. I'm glad that you had won. Somebody that didn't win already won. That's good. So what I have to say, good luck in round 5 or Cover Combat 5 to Johnny, Tyler, and New York Mike. Or no, Johnny and Tyler.
New York Mike won, yeah. So it's Johnny and Tyler. Johnny and Tyler are on deck for a repeat or for a first, or all the rest of us are on deck for a repeat.
Yep.
Pat?
I'm thank you for the congratulations. I'm just glad I was able to give Hulk 340 a second chance that it deserved.
Nice. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. And I'll just throw this in. Happy birthday again, Karen. I don't know if she's still watching or not, but hopefully she got to check out a lot of the show, but she's having a good time today. Mike?
I don't have anything else.
All right.
What happened? I blacked out. I don't even remember the show.
Okay.
I'm so interested in watching the show while we do it that I don't think about it.
Yeah. Okay. Pat?
Yeah, I wasn't that good either. I did write down one thing, and this isn't just another T-shirt idea, or your pull quote for the website this week. From Kevin to Mike, you and your monkeys.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You and your monkeys. You put a monkey on a cover, Mike's in.
Yeah.
Don't ever give up on a book just because you may read one book and not one of the books in a run and not like it. Things might turn right back around and you start enjoying it again. See Monstrous, issue 7 and 8. Mike?
We didn't talk about this in the show, but I want to congratulate Johnny and Kirsty.
Oh yeah.
They got married yesterday.
Yes, congratulations to them. Yeah.
Yep. That was exciting.
No, I think it was Thursday. Yes. They got married Thursday. It's Thursday, Mike. It is.
I'm not arguing.
Oh, I had thought you had a look in your face like you just wanted to tell me I was wrong.
No.
Yeah, congratulations to them. Congratulations to them and their family, all involved, and many, 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 many years forever of a fantastic life together. Yeah. So you don't have anything else, Pat?
You haven't seen the last of the last rune, and I promise I'll get back to it.
Okay. And again, shout out to New York Mike for getting me back into G.I. Joe, along with Pat continuing to show G.I. Joe in G.I. June. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else, Mike?
Nope.
Pat.
That's it. I'm good.
You are good, Pat.
Eh.
All right, let's see if I can manage this by myself. It's just going to have to be without Karen here, we'll have to just not have shows when she's not here to maintain the quality standard of our shows, So let's see if I can handle this on my own. Okay. Please like and comment on this video right now, please. If you're watching this, just hit the like button. I would always love for at least our likes to match our views. That'd be great. I'd appreciate it. If you can take care of that now while I'm still rambling, go. Thank you. As well as subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. Please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers. And please listen to the edited podcast of this live stream on Spotify that will be posted later today or tomorrow. Follow XcellarComics on Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter. And follow Exceller_comics on TikTok and whatnot. Oh, sorry. And watch our shows on the Whatnot app, weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had a real good week last week as far as shows were concerned. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, planning on that same thing this week. You can bookmark, the Tuesday show right now. So I'd appreciate that as well. Right after you're done liking this video, go to Whatnot and bookmark that show. That'd be great. Get those algorithms moving right along, Lots of great deals. I talked about a couple like that Matina cover, and I put that up for $3. That's like a $10 book. I would say half the time I'm putting up like super ridiculous steals on the easel that I put my books on. Half the time it's decent value, but still good deals. Other half of the time it's like super ridiculous steals that I joke on the show all the time. All I can say is everybody must have this. That's all I can,
Yeah.
Then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Exceller_comics and on our website. I had another book last week. I'm going to add another one this week.
I need to jump in there and get some added.
Yeah, I need to get that to you. I mean, it's actually, if you just go there, you'll figure it out. It's not hard.
I'll figure it out. I'm always afraid of messing something up. Like,
yeah, don't worry about it.
Not good.
Although our traffic on the website's been really good. So yeah, I'm excited to get a big inventory there like we have on eBay, But anyway, and we're going to be adding some key books. And we got like a bunch of slabs on there now. So yeah, check it out. Not only eBay, I'm going to put the slabs on the Whatnot show too. Those won't be ridiculous steals.
Right.
Those will be good deals though, but those won't be ridiculous steals.
Yeah.
And then watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook next Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
I do need to give props to Valor on his narration on the last is that Instagram post or TikTok or whatever that was on TikTok or whatever. That was well done. I was wondering if that was him or not because it didn't sound like him, but then there was like one little phrase that he said. I was like, I don't know, that sounds like Valor. But then again, I listened to him like, but it doesn't. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great, Pat.
Yeah, thanks. You'll appreciate that. It was funny because it's all a result of TikTok not behaving the way I wanted it to, because I wanted to type most of that out as graphics on the screen and it wasn't working. So I was like, I'm just going to do a voiceover. And I was like, better yet, I'll just have him do it.
Yeah.
He heard me messing around with it. So, and then there's an option to do voice filters. And we kept messing around with the voice filters. And I'm like, no, we're just going to use you because you're better than the voice filters. Bro.
Well, that was great. Yeah, I thought that was, man, when I saw that, I was like, this one's going to go viral. It was so awesome. But that is the top viewed TikTok of ours now. And the reason I noticed that is because the old top viewed one was one of my first, where I did a review, and I do my catchphrase where I show a comic, but that one surpassed it. So it's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Please, can you please make do something like that every week with Valor? That'd be perfect.
Okay, we'll see.
I know behind the scenes we talked about how this is a lot of work. So I'm just I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. But I'm kidding. So
Right.
oh, we actually got a couple comments I missed. Oh, hold on. Yo Joe June.
Oh, there's a spelling error too there. It's just Yo Joe June. I think I've gotten myself mixed up and I'm saying the wrong thing now. I'm not even sure.
It's probably my fault because I keep guessing wrong. What did I say? Oh, you said G.I. Joan at the beginning of this, and I said G.I. June, I think. Yo Joe June.
Yo,
So,
Joe,
okay. Somebody at
I like the dummies at the end of it.
Well, the real irony is it's from XcellarComics, okay, which I have no idea who that is.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
all I'm looking at.
yeah, and then secondly, it's got a misspelling in it. So
Right. Perfect.
Unless it's actually you've been messing it up from the very beginning, Pat, and it's actually Yo Joan June.
I don't think so, but at this point, who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate the correction though. So that'll do it though. Anybody else got anything else?
Real quick, Mike. How about the your overall just quick review of Across the Spider-Verse? You guys want to see that, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'll explain it the way I explained it to Kevin. The first I'd say 40 minutes, it's really good, but it's the art style for Gwen's stuff. It kind of mirrors the way it was done in the comics. I thought it was really, really good. But the story, it was okay. I felt myself getting a little bored. But then it gets to a point where I told Kevin it's like the turn and like a magic trick. It's like boom. And from there, it was just excellent. It was so good. I didn't see that coming, and yeah, it was fantastic. They definitely did better than the first one. It was great. So definitely it's a recommend. Spend the money to see it on the big screen.
Well, my wife's birthday is Monday, and one of the things she asked to do for her birthday was to go to see Spider-Man. So we got tickets at 7 p.m. today.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to review it next week.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, did you have problems with sound, Mike, at all? Did you hear about this?
No, everything was.
People complained about the dialogue track was a little too low, and apparently they sent out a fix for that.
Oh, well, we saw it.
Experienced that when you saw it, Pat?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw it at AMC because our go-to, the Alamo, was sold out.
Yeah, we got Dolby tickets, so you'd assume the sound would be perfect for that, I guess. But
so, what did you think of it, Patrick? You said you saw it.
Oh yeah, we all really liked. Valor was a little disappointed, I think, because he thought he thought that I think he thought sort of maybe along the same lines as you. He thought there was too much spent maybe at the beginning, until it got to the meat of the story. So,
right. Yep. And then of course, Cora loves Spider-Punk. You got all these new characters. I thought 2099. I thought he was amazing. Yeah, I think it's raised the bar on what animation, on how awesome it could look.
Yeah,
I think the soundtrack may have been better for the first one.
Maybe.
I enjoyed the music better in the first one, but yes, great.
Of course, we've listened to that soundtrack so many times, so it's hard to tell. Maybe this one will grow on you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Max went and saw Flash 2 weeks ago. And it's funny, too. We were getting a review from Flash, but we all assumed he was talking about Spider-Verse. So I don't even want to say what he said because, it might ruin it for people because it kind of it maybe ruined something for me. I'll let you know. But yeah, my review next week will be, interesting to almost no one because everybody's not butchered it, but beat it to death reviewing that. So I've seen it everywhere. But maybe that'll be exciting, since it's not everywhere. Then we'll have our title next week being, Spider-Verse, and people be like, "Oh wow, it's back." Or no, they'll be like, "Oh, it's been so long, and this is number 3." What? But anyway. So stay tuned for that in my what Kevin watch next week. So
Cool.
All right, is that it?
That is it.
I promise that's it this time.
Okay, no worries. All right, awesome. We really appreciate everyone being here and all the chat. We love it. And until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Exceller out.